Roque.
As good. We view this as an affirmation of the bright and resilient outlook our people have displayed even in difficult circumstances. The sense of optimism for a better Philippines is very palpable as we start the new year. We must therefore continue the strong start we have made to sustain our economic momentum, make our communities safe and secure, and bring governance closer to the people. Second good news, the DTI reports on the Philippine manufacturing sector. We're bullish to see manufacturing sector hitting record numbers consistently. We take note that the Philippines has maintained its top place among ASEAN countries in the manufacturing sector, according to the Nikkei Philippine Manufacturing Purchasing Managers Index, or the PMI. This is a good indication of increasing overall production capacity if we are to restructure our economy and elevate our country from a net importing to a net exporter country. It is noteworthy to mention that manufacturing is a key driver for growth and reliable source of jobs for our people. Manufacturing grew by 8.3% during the first 3 quarters of 2017 and employed 3.4 million workers as of October 2017. To sustain this, we are therefore committed to create an environment conducive for high skill, high value, high impact, and manufacturing operations. The President has tasked me to announce that he has terminated the services of Mr. Marcial QC Amaro, Administrator of Marina. On December 22, the Office of the President received a complaint purportedly coming from employees of the Marina complaining that Administrator Amaro has had 11 foreign trips in 2017 alone. The President ordered an investigation. The Department of Transportation furnished the Office of the President with a list of travel of Mr. Amaro. It turns out that the complaint of the employees is wrong because while the employees said that Mr. Amaro made 11 trips in 2017 alone, the DOTR reported that Mr. Amaro in fact made 18 official travel in 2017. In 2016, he had 6 or a total of 24 travels. The President has decided therefore to terminate his services. We underscore the fact that previously Chair Terry Ridon was also terminated because of 7 foreign travel. And if 7 foreign travel was deemed excessive by the President, 24 travels definitely is excessive by the President's standard. Let this be a reminder to all public officials that the President is serious in his mandate, that they should live modest lives, that they should be true to their calling, and that they should avoid unnecessary trips. I'd like to highlight that all of the trips except for 1 are official, but the point of the President is we have to be selective in the trips that we will undertake, and that definitely 24 travels is excessive. Of the 24 travels, only about 3 were sponsored trips. All the other trips were paid for by the Philippine government, and in almost all the trips, he received honorarium and other sums for his trips abroad. Questions?
Okay, from Edith Regalado, Philippine Star. Rob, Mike, please.
Good afternoon, sir. I just would like to know of all those trips. You said 3 were financed by the organizers who invited him. Now the others were paid by government and he collected honorarium.
The plane fares were paid for by Philippine governments and he collected honorariums.
Sir, I would just like to know, is it only the trips that made the President decide for, or were there other complaints inside his office that the office has been used for something else, for business purposes or whatever?
Well, all the documentation furnished to me by the PMS were, number 1, the complaint of the employees, and number 2, the report of the Department of Transportation detailing the trips and whether or not they were funded by Philippine government funds. So I only had 2 documents turned over by PMS.
So nothing about him using the office as for some business purposes?
The PMS did not turn over any such document to me, but I have to admit that I have heard some reports, but the PMS did not dwell on those reports.
Okay, thank you. Madonna Timbal of ABS, please.
Okay,
ABS
sir.
Davao.
Dahil sinibak na nga, sir, sino may ipapalit na po ba sa pwesto?
Wala pa pong ina-announce ang ating presidente.
Pero possibly, sir, sino po ba ang mga nakalinya, sir, no, na posibleng papalit sa kanya? Meron bang mga potential na mga personalities, sir, na posibleng papalit sa kanya sa pwesto?
Wala pa pong nabanggit sa akin, bagamat with 100 million Filipinos, we're confident that there will be a Filipino who can do the job in the marina.
And ano po mga qualifications pa po na kailangan, sir, sa papalit na officials sa pwesto po?
Ay, alam mo naman ang presidente natin, simple lang ang kanyang marching order sa lahat ng taong gobyerno, no? Do your job well, serve the people well, do not lie, be honest, and do not engage in junkets.
Okay.
Sir, isang follow-up lang po pala. Why the delay in the announcement when you should have announced it December 30 and then supposedly yesterday in the press briefing in Malacanang, and then finally you announced it here in Davao?
There was only 1 day delay because I was asked by the palace to postpone the announcement yesterday. No, the order was to announce it in the next press briefing. So the next press briefing, from the date it was first relayed to me, was only yesterday, January 3, because we canceled our January 1 briefing. No? So that was the occasion. Yesterday should have been the occasion, but I was asked to hold it at abeyance for a day.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, Bam Alegre of GMA Manila.
Sir, good afternoon, sir. So far, Marina lang po. Ito lang po ang announcement natin today, sir.
Yes, Marina.
Okay. Sir, request lang po ng reaction, sir. Si Mayor Sara Duterte raw na nakapasok to sa Magic 12 nung...
Well, I read a news from a news magazine online, but I have not seen the survey myself.
So, no comment mo na?
No comment po. And I think Mayor Duterte has her own spokesperson in City Hall.
Thank you, Bam. Ruth Dumandan of Radyo Pilipinas. Then after Ruth from PNA.
Sir, aside from Ridon and Amaro, are there any other officials na iniimbestigahan pa rin due to yung foreign trips nila, sir?
I don't know about foreign trips, but I think yesterday I also declared that quite a number of police officials, including colonels, no, will soon be terminated. But the names have not been provided to me yet.
Can you give us the numbers, sir? How many?
I know there's a number of them, but the exact list will be given to me. I was just told that the investigation is almost over.
Okay. Sir, on Paolo Duterte's resignation, have you talked to the president about it?
Well, I'm here because I wish to talk to the president, and we have not met. I only arrived this morning.
Okay, so far wala pang decisions, President. Okay, thank you, sir.
Okay, Ayan Milihor, PNA.
Good afternoon, sir. Ayan Melio from Philippine News Agency. Just a follow-up on foreign travels. Yesterday, the President issued the guidelines for foreign trips. Do you have any records, sir, how much is the government spending for foreign trips of government officials?
I don't have the figure with me, but that's one of the figures I wanted to get from the 2018 national budget. No? And I'm going to look into that. No? But right now, the guidelines have been issued. Foreign trips must be related to the functions of the government. It must not be too pricey, must not be too costly, and the benefits of to the country of the trip must be substantial. No? So those are the three guidelines, no, in order that foreign trips will be approved. All government employees need to get approval for any foreign travel, be it official or personal.
May mga ano ba, sir, limitation or limits on the number of travels and na nire-require on government, and what's did the Commission on Audit also call the attention of the government
Hindi
about
po.
this foreign trip?
This is the President's unilateral decision to crack down on foreign travels of government officials. He believes that government officials should concentrate on their jobs here in the Philippines. The travel should be only for officials from the Department of Foreign Affairs, and that any foreign travel must conform with the guidelines. Related to the agency's mandate, must not be too costly, and must have significant benefits to the country.
Sir, yung problema sa PCSO with Alexander Balutan and Sandra Cam, ano yung message ni President Duterte dito, sir?
Wala pa po, no? Wala pa pong nasasabi sa akin si Presidente, and I'm here because I will confer with the President.
Sir, question lang po. Speaker Alvarez floated the idea of Noel, and then Senate President Coco Pimentel said something about term extension. So, where does the President stand on this?
The President has spoken on these issues. No? Number one, the President is the chief implementer of the Constitution and the laws of the land. Unless and until the Constitution is amended and ratified by the people, elections will push through in 2019. And what the President promises is that if elections push through, we will have a credible and honest elections. On the possible term extension, he has said it before. If we can amend the Constitution and provide for provisions that will minimize graft and corruption, he will even resign prior to the end of his term of office in 2022. So the President is considering shortening his term, but has definitely rejected even the idea of prolonging his term.
Sir, follow up po. This, what the Speaker said and what the Senate President said, do these things have something to do with, or does the push for a shift to the federal form of government have something to do with such ideas?
Well, as I said, no, the President has no wish to extend his term. If
For
the Constitution
federalism.
can be amended to provide for federalism and to provide for provisions that would strengthen public accountability, he has said he is willing to cut short his term. So the idea of prolonging his term is out of the question. Inuulit ko po, walang pagnanais si Presidente na pahabain pa ang kanyang termino, gusto nga niya pong paikliin pa kung po pwede.
Thank you, Edith. Argil of GMA Davao.
Sir, any reaction po on the expose that the PCSO hosted a costly na Christmas party? Is there a possibility na gaya nung sa Marina official, may matatanggal din sa pwesto if positive na ganun yung nangyari?
Wala pa po akong alam dyan. But I think both officials of the PCSO have spoken. And what I do know is the President is fully cognizant of what transpired. And I'm sure if he has any decision, he will make it known soon.
Okay. Next, Joey Dalumpines of PIA.
Sir, what's the veracity of the information that the church leaders pleaded to the President not to call the communist rebels as terror organization?
No idea. Because the Department of Justice is about to file the pleading before the Regional Trial Court of Manila to declare the CPP-NPA as a terrorist organization pursuant to the Human Security Act.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. Back to Ian Milihor of PNA. Then, Madonna. Okay, Madonna muna. Sige. Go, Madonna.
Okay, sir, with regards sa excise tax, ano po kaya mga epekto nito sa mga poorest of the poor, sir?
Well, ang alam ko po ay magkakaroon nga tayo ng mitigating cash transfer which will be implemented in the first half of this year. No? If I'm not mistaken, it is, kano ba yun, 200 or 300 pesos ata, no? Na ibibigay by way of conditional cash transfer to the poorest of the poor. And of course, I'd like to highlight that the proceeds of TRAIN will be spent for Build, Build, Build. The Build, Build, Build program will not only provide us with better infrastructure, it will also stimulate the economy, create more jobs, and therefore create more income for everyone.
Okay. Ayan.
Sir, on the barangay and SK elections, there are questions whether the president would postpone the elections in Mindanao. Since last year, it was also moved, citing the declaration of martial law.
Well, the decision to postpone elections is one made by Congress, not by the President. So it's an issue of policy. So Congress will have to legislate on this regard.
So any more question? No more? Sir, okay. Okay, Bam.
Otherwise, there are questions from Manila here, ha?
Okay. Okay. Ayan, pakibigay ng phone. Ay, microphone. Thank you. Okay, Bam.
Sec, yung anti-arson task force po, meron na silang findings. Yung anti-arson task force dito sa NCC Mall, interagency task force. Meron na silang findings na sa short circuit po. May comment po yung Malacanang dito sa progress po ng investigation dun sa nangyari sunog.
Well, not per se on this finding, no, but I understand yesterday that the President met with the Bureau of Fire people and the PNP here in Davao, and the agenda was how to strengthen 911. No? What the President wants is to make Davao the showcase for 911, and he wants all reforms on 911 implemented in Davao to be implemented nationwide. No? Now, there was a information given to the media that the President somehow lectured the police. He did not lecture them on anything outside of issues affecting the police force, such as, how to serve warrants, instances of warrantless arrests. So it's basically constitutional law 1 for police officers. No? And of course, the President, having been a former fiscal, knows the relevant rules, provisions of the Rules on Criminal Procedure and on the Constitution that governs the topic of arrests and seizures. So that's what he lectured them on.
Okay, thank you, Bam. Another from the Capistrano Manila Bulletin.
Before we take the question, the President also met with the Indonesian Foreign Minister yesterday here in Panacan. There were some agreements with Indonesia relating to security that was agreed upon by the Philippine President and President Widodo, although details cannot be divulged.
Sir, hi sir.
Yes.
Ano lang po, regarding dun sa meeting with Foreign Minister Marus, di ba meron kayong iba pong ma-share, mababanggit?
Yun lang po. Ang binanggit lang po ay it was actually a courtesy call. It was a tete-a-tete. Tama ba yung pronunciation ko doon? The President indicated that there were security agreements, and arrangements agreed upon between the two countries, but obviously, because these are security matters, it cannot be divulged.
Okay. So there's a question here from Dexter of ABS Manila. Medyo balik na naman tayo doon. The Marina admin and deputy admin shall be appointed by the President for a term of 6 years. That the President may remove the admin, deputy admin from office for a cause upon recommendation of the board. So parang sinasabi niya, Marina Charter daw po is sa Presidential Decree number 474, particularly sa Section 9. Pwede sibakin ng Pangulo ang administrator or deputy administrator sa recommendation ng board. Kailangan ba ito masunod?
Well, the President has decided to terminate the administrator. Whatever is required to terminate it has to be complied with by the board, if there is any such requirement. There are some GOCCs where appointments are made by the board, and what the President does is to issue, I wish to elect person XYZ as a member of the board or as chairman of the board. So the board members would have to comply. So what I'm saying is if there's such a requirement, then the board has to act.
Okay, thank you. Bam, follow up? Follow up. Okay, Rob, please.
Para malinaw lang po, sir, may legal basis daw po ba yung termination daw po kay Amaro?
That's for cause. 24 foreign trips in a span of 13 months. That's an average of 2.
Yeah.
If he stays 3 days per trip, that's basically half the time he was abroad.
Wow. Okay, so sir, there are questions from Manila, sir. You have
Yes,
to
let me see. I think I had only that question also from Manila. Wait, let me see if there are other questions. Sir, what? No, I just announced it. Mr. Uri, and then Joseph Sumorong. It's not a question; it's a comment. Well, no further questions from Malacanang Press Corps. Malacanang Press Corps, if you have further questions, please text them now or forever hold your peace until next Monday.
So far, no more questions? Okay. Okay, Mike, please. Wait, Ruth.
The President promised to give assistance sa mall fire victims. I just want to clarify if this is yung financial assistance ibibigay ng DOLE, kung ito na yon. That was approved yesterday by Secretary Bello, sir?
I do not know if that's exclusively the sum, but I do not know if there will be other assistance. No? But what I do know is that the President is able to give from his own funds, no, outside of funds coming from other departments.
May follow-up ka, Donna? Okay, there's another question here
Sir,
from
Donna Agnes from ABS-CBN. Sir, regarding dun sa excise tax, sabi niya may mitigating cash transfer na ibibigay, 200 to 300 pesos. Kailan po
I'm not sure if it's 200 to 300 now, huh?
Yes, sir. Yun yung na-mention yung kanina.
Yeah, I have the exact number because
Alright.
I responded to that yesterday only, no.
But kailan po kaya possible mag-uumpisa itong cash transfer, sir, para sa poorest of the poor, sir, na ibibigay?
Alam mo, sandali lang ha, kasi that's
Okay,
one of the things I mentioned in yesterday's briefing. Naku, senior moment, hindi ko maalala na. But what I do know is that they will be implementing rules to be finalized, and if I'm not mistaken, it's within the year of 2018.
First quarter, second quarter, third quarter?
If I'm not mistaken, it is from January to July
Alright.
of this year.
So, sapat po ba itong 200 to 300 pesos na ano, sir?
Well, alam mo kasi, this is only mitigating. No? Ang tawag naman ng mitigating para maibsan. Pero ito naman po ay pupunta sa pinakamahirap. No? Ibig sabihin, yung mga mahirap naman, hindi rin masyadong maraming nabibili ng mga commodities na subject to excise tax. So kahit paano, makakatulong talaga itong mitigating conditional cash transfer
Ano yung
sa
mga
kanila.
parameters, sir, para hindi rin mapupunta talaga doon sa mga mahihirap, sir, na itong mga cash transfer na ito, hindi matitake advantage ng
yes,
mga
because we already have list of beneficiaries on the conditional cash transfer. It will be the same population that will benefit from this cash mitigation, which is a provision of the Tax Reform Act, the train.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, there's a question here from Raymond Tinaza of Bombo, the president of MPC. Sabi po ni Senator Soto, ang daming pinakalat na oposisyon na maling info kaugnay sa train law. And he urges government officials to counter this by explaining to the public the details of the law. Will the government conduct massive info drive to explain the new tax law para maiwasan ang misunderstanding at pag-abuso ng mga negosyante gamit ang batas?
Opo, in fact, kahapon po, no, halos lahat ng ahensya ng gobyerno nagsasabi na hindi dapat na tumaas kaagad ang presyo ng mga bilihin, no, dahil ang excise tax naman po ay pinapataw hindi dun sa old inventory, kundi sa mga bagong inventory. No? So walang dahilan para tumaas ang presyo on day one of the effectivity of the law. No? So kung hindi po ako nagpunta sa Davao, nagkakaroon sana ako ng guest from the Department of Finance, si Yusek Carl, pero since we decided to have this press briefing in Davao, hindi po natuloy. No? But on Monday, I will invite again the Department of Finance. I also know that PCOO is working double time to embark on a dissemination campaign on the salient features of the train, and likewise the DTI will not hesitate to prosecute individuals, no, who will take advantage of price hikes invoking train as a legal basis. I stress that the excise tax will be imposed on new inventory and not on existing inventory. So kailangan maubos muna yung current inventory bago sila magtaas by virtue of the train.
Thank you. Okay, from Tricia Macas of GMA News Online. But if the draft chapter or charter provides for the president staying on in a transitory capacity, what will he do? Would he tell his allies in Congress not to involve him in any transition government?
Well, malinaw po sinabi ni Presidente, kung mapapaaga ang charter change para magkaroon ng probisyon na mapapainting natin yung laban natin laban sa korupsyon, miski maaga niyang tapusin ang termino niya. Pero wala po siyang sinabi na siya ay nagnanais na palawakin pa o patagalin pa ang kanyang termino. Malinaw na malinaw po si Presidente dyan. And I think even the Senate President said that the President would have to consent. No? And given the emphatic statement of the President that he does not wish to stay 1 minute longer than his term, I do not think it is something that he finds attractive.
Okay. Sir, isang question na lang po. You made mention about police officials as high as colonels who are in the list who are supposed to be in. And you said something about investigation going on. Do we have a time na or kung kailan yan?
Well, sinabi na po sa akin yan. Sinabi na po sa akin yan December 10 na malapit na, no? And before December 10, there was also information given to me already, no, that I could tell the public in advance that they are going to terminate quite a number.
Is it 60 or 90?
Hindi ko po alam talaga kung ano yung numbers, no? Pero again, inulit po sa akin na halos tapos ng investigasyon. So maybe this month.
This month?
Maybe this
the
month.
Announcement for those who will
It's likely that it will come out this month.
Thank you, sir.
Last two questions from...
So lahat naman po ito, inuulit-ulit ko dahil kinakailangan parating ang mensahe sa mga taong gobyerno. Nandito po tayo para manilbihan. Kung nais po natin magpayaman, kung nais natin magbiyahe, sa pribadong sektor na po tayo.
Sir, from Rudolph, PIA. Does the regulation on travel also extend to rank and file, not just to officials?
Of course, it applies to everyone. Alam mo, kaya importante rin na kailangan ma-approve miski personal trips. Meron naman kasing unexplained wealth act. No? Kung biyahe ka ng biyahe na personal nga, walang gastos ng gobyerno, saan mo naman kinukuha yung pangbiyahe mo, no? Kung madalas na madalas yan.
Okay. Okay, last question.
Sir, last question tayo along that line about
Yes, ma'am.
biyahe. Could you confirm or does the president check on the passports of government officials?
I don't think he physically does. But there is now a provision in the memorandum issued yesterday that heads of office must furnish the Office of the Executive Secretary with a list of officials who have traveled on a regular basis.
So no need to check on the passports or anything. So the head of office should furnish.
Yes, there is now a report required of heads of offices, no, on who have been given travel permits.
No cover-ups?
No cover-ups.
Okay.
May
Yes.
pahabol ka, Ruth? Use the mic, please.
Yes, sir. Any update lang sa Marawi rehabilitation, sir?
Well, we were in Marawi. Unfortunately, weather prevented the president's chopper from landing in Marawi. The good news was on the 23rd, we delivered 800 temporary shelters. No? The first 800 temporary shelters intended for the Bakwits, no? 300 of which were built and funded by PAGCOR and 500 by the National Housing Authority. That's the first batch. I know that there will be another 200 minimum in the next month, and a further 171 no, next month. So next month there could be a minimum of additional 371. No? Of course, the total target is to build 6,700 housing units for Bakwits. So I'm happy to note that barely 2 months after Marawi was liberated, we had turned over 800 housing units, which roughly amounts to 12-13% of our target.
Ano timeline sa completion, sir?
Well, napakabilis po eh. Nagulat ako na napakabilis kasi ang ginagamit naman po nila eh mga imported technology na parang prefab houses, no? Kaya mabilis po, no? So I think kung matuloy po yung 300, we would have 1,100 done within 3 months after liberation of Marawi. So I could see that it is not impossible that in 1 year's time we could achieve the target, no, sa bilis po ng pagtatayo nitong mga temporary shelters. Now we call them temporary shelters, but nung nakita ko po sila, permanent shelters po yun. In fact, may mga ilang bahay po na 5 years ang binibigay na termino para dun sa mga titira, no? Pero ang sabi nga ng mga housing agents, sino pang titira dyan after 5 years? Kasi lahat naman sila mabibigyan ng temporary shelter, no? So, mabilis po ang proseso, mabilis po ang pagbangon ng Marawi, and that's because the President promised to rebuild Marawi in the soonest time possible.
May pahabol dito si Dexter of DZMM. Ano ang aktibidad ng Pangulo sa Martes? Translasyon ng Black Nazarene and another, ang pagsibak ba kay Marina admin ay dahil sa mga travel abroad o may iba pang dahilan?
Ang alam ko lang po, 2 pong dokumento binigay sa akin ng PMS, yung letter ng complaint at yung report ng DOTR dun sa kanyang mga travels.
Okay, so no more questions? No more? So
Okay.
we'd like to ask our Secretary for his final statement. Sir?
Well, yun lang po. Tingin ko po wala nang kaduda-duda na seryoso ang ating presidente dito sa kampanya laban sa korupsyon. Ulitin ko lang po, kung nais po kayong yumaman, kung nais kayong magbiyahe, huwag na po kayo magtrabaho sa gobyerno. Nandiyan naman po ang pribadong sektor. Maraming salamat po at good afternoon to all of you.
Maraming salamat po, Secretary, and back to PTV and Radio Pilipinas. Thank you, guys. Thank you, MPC.